In this rather plain looking and somewhat yellowed cardboard box is a Lexar digital music player, and judging by the system requirements of Windows 2000 or XP, it's probably from the early to mid 2000s. But one thing that caught my eye is this sticker that says Bose on it, which kind of belies the premium image of the Bose name, because this is obviously just a cheap paper Avery label printed on a laser printer. On the back it has a slightly more official looking sticker giving a Bose product code. It says it's an MP3 player, single, silver, part number MDA 256-682, and it was made in China. And it has a copyright date of 2006, so it just missed the introduction of Windows Vista in 2007. Opening the box, we get the MP3 player, which is surprisingly small and light. We get a Welcome to Bose package here, a USB cable, a hand strap, and stuck into the packaging is a single AAA battery. I wonder if it's still good. And if we open up this booklet, it says, "Thank you for purchasing the Bose Quiet Comfort Acoustic Noise Cancelling Headphones. As our gift to you, a Lexar MP3 player, preloaded with music selected by Bose. We hope you enjoy them for many years. Better sound through research." And there's the complete listing of all the songs it comes with. It has 38 tracks preloaded on it. And that music was provided to Bose by Rounder Records. Also in the package is a promotional item for Lexar SD cards in 1 GB size, 40% off at the Lexar online store. It says you can double or triple the capacity of your MP3 player when you purchase a 512 MB or 1 GB SD card. So that means the player has 256 megabytes of an internal memory. But unfortunately, that offer ended on December 31st, 2007. Also included is the warranty statement and the manual for the MP3 player, which is just a 2-page pamphlet repeated in several different languages. And here it says, "Thank you for shopping at the Bose store. Congratulations on your purchase." And it includes the business card for the Bose store in the Bridgewater Commons Mall in Bridgewater, New Jersey. The mall's still there, but unfortunately the Bose store is not, because Bose closed all of their stores in 2020. And that had nothing to do with COVID, because the announcement they were going to be closing their stores was made in January 2020, several months before any lockdowns took place. And finally, even though I'm not the one who originally purchased the headphones this MP3 player came with, tucked into this little pocket is the original receipt. On June 17th, 2007, they purchased the Bose Quiet Comfort 2 silver headphones for $299. Wow. And they got the MP3 player for free, and their total, including tax, was $319.93. And before I try out the MP3 player, I want to see if this battery still has any life left. So, if I can pry it out of this packaging here, I'll put it on my battery tester and see if it reads anything. It's a generic golden battery. Well, it just barely makes the needle of the battery tester move. So it does have a little bit of life left, but not enough to run the MP3 player. I have the hand strap attached and a fresh AAA battery installed. By the way, there you can see the SD card slot. And there's just one more thing to do before I try it out. That is to peel off this protective film on the display. I don't have the headphones this was originally sold with, but I do happen to have a pair of Bose Companion 2 powered speakers. And despite the oft-repeated phrase about Bose products, I think they sound pretty good, so that's what I'll use for my testing. Taking a closer look at the player, on the front is the display, which is backlit, your playback controls, play and pause, stop, skip backwards, skip forwards, and a button for selecting items in the menu. And the way you access that menu is this button on the side. You also get buttons for volume up and down, the USB port. On the other side is just the headphone jack, and on the top is the power button, a microphone, because this can also work as a voice recorder, and a hold or lock switch. And when we turn it on, it becomes obvious that despite putting their sticker on the box and preloading it with their choice of music, that's as far as the Bose customization of this MP3 player went. Otherwise, you would think it would display the Bose logo when you first turn it on instead of the Lexar logo. So from this point forward, it's just a standard off-the-shelf mid-2000s Lexar MP3 player. For the sake of visibility, I went into the settings menu and set it to leave the backlight on continuously. Otherwise, as you saw, it's pretty quick to turn it off to conserve battery life. And it crams a lot of information into this little monochrome LCD. Obviously, scrolling across the middle is the artist and title of the current track, but it displays a whole bunch of other information as well. The music note symbol changes to a microphone symbol when you're in the voice recorder mode. It also shows that it's currently stopped. It's on track 12 out of 38 tracks total. It's currently set to shuffle mode. It's right at the beginning of that song, and the total length of the track is 4 minutes and 43 seconds. In my about 1 hour of testing so far, it looks like the battery is half empty, according to that display, so if that's any indication, that single AAA battery should last for about 2 hours, hopefully a bit more than that. And it's also showing that it's an MP3 file, which implies that it can play some other types. I'll be sure to test that. And all those preloaded Bose songs are 192 kilobits at a sampling rate of 44 kilohertz. Actually, now that I think about it, it probably has more like 2 hours of use on that battery, because last night I actually fell asleep listening to it. And that's not a comment on the music that Bose included being boring. I was just tired. And there's one song on here that I found to be quite touching.
There's an older road just off Route 9,
based on a true story.
Fades into the lake at the low water line.
That's about Flagstaff, Maine, one of 2 towns that was cleared out and abandoned to make way for a hydroelectric dam, and the remnants of it have been underwater since 1950. And whether I'm playing it through earbuds or headphones or these Bose speakers, I think the sound quality of this little MP3 player is actually very good. In fact, it actually has less background hiss than my 2006 Apple iPod Shuffle. And it has all these equalizer settings like extra bass, rock, jazz, classical, and pop, but I haven't felt the need to use any of them. Even with my little earbuds, it still has plenty of bass and plenty of high end with just the normal setting. But sound quality aside, my main gripe with this player is how slow the controls are to respond. It seems like everything you press takes about 1 second to react. And that may not sound like much, but especially when you're trying to locate a specific track, it can quickly add up and really make it annoying to use, because no matter how quickly I press this button to skip to the next track, you can see it's only going through them about 1 per second. So if you have hundreds of songs on this thing, that's really going to be unacceptable. Like I said, this MP3 player is from 2006, which is the same year that SDHC cards were introduced. But unfortunately, this only supports regular SD cards. It's possible Lexar had a firmware update for this, which would add support for SDHC, but I tried looking at an old archive of their website from around that time, and I couldn't find anything about it. So if you want to add extra storage capacity to it, you'll need to find a regular SD card, the largest of which are 2 gigabytes. And that goes in this slot in the back cover. It does not support FLAC or other lossless compression formats, but it does support uncompressed WAV files, so you can give this full CD quality audio if you have enough storage space for it. It also has no problem playing 320 kilobit MP3 files. And it has no problem playing variable bitrate MP3 files. It also supports MPEG Layer 1 and Layer 2, aka MP1 and MP2, as long as you rename them to a .mp3 extension. And it supports WMA files, in case anyone still cares about that format, which I don't think many people do. And I'm pleased to report it gets the left and right channels correct. I know that's not exactly a high threshold of competency to expect from a product, but you'd be surprised how many modern audio devices get that wrong.
If your system is in balance, the sound you hear now should come from your left. Now you should hear the sound on the right.
As for the voice recorder mode, it is functional, but it has a rather high level of hiss and background noise, even when speaking up close to the microphone. So it's passable for dictation, but it's definitely not going to cut it for recording conferences. This is a test of the voice recorder mode of the Lexar MP3 player using its built-in microphone. I have it set to a sampling rate of 32 kilohertz, which is the highest it supports, and it's recording uncompressed PCM audio. I don't think this model was ever sold on the retail market, because I've only ever seen it in this plain cardboard box, with or without the Bose logo on it. It was listed on Amazon in 2007, but the description mentions it being preloaded with 38 songs selected by Bose, so they were just selling off remaining stock after the promotion had ended. And I doubt that Lexar actually had any involvement in designing or manufacturing this MP3 player, because by 2006, inexpensive MP3 players like this were a commodity item that a variety of Chinese OEMs were manufacturing. So Lexar simply picked this little MP3 player and offered it to other companies like Bose as a promotional tool to help sell their SD cards. And that's something you really don't see anymore. I mean, these days many items don't even include a power supply or USB cable. It's ridiculous. So say what you want about Bose products, but I do think it's neat that they gave you this little MP3 player preloaded with a custom playlist of music.
I don't mind confiding, but I make